Okay, I got it.
We're set.
Yes, we are.
Good afternoon, everybody. We're about to commence this special meeting regarding the contract of our Director General. And in order to continue, and with no further ado, let's get going.
I move to appoint Councillor Phelps as the chairman of the meeting in accordance with Section 328 of the Cities and Towns Act.
Is there a seconder?
I'll second that.
Any comments, anybody? No? Okay. So we go to the adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda of the special council meeting of Monday, April 20th, 2020 as drafted.
Seconder, council,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So I'll be reading out a particularly large section that there was one question that did come in about the right of veto, and there's some questions about the veto. So I'm going to read out to you what this is. It's resolution number 2020-04-56, Employment Contract Director General. Whereas in accordance with Section 53 of the Cities and Town Act, CQLR, Chapter C19, the bylaws and resolutions adopted by the Council and the obligations and contracts approved by it shall be presented by the clerk to the mayor within 96 hours after such adoption of approval. Whereas such time, if the mayor advises the clerk that she does not approve them, the latter shall submit them again to the council at the next sitting as a matter of urgency and priority. Following the adoption of resolution number 2020-04-56, by which the majority of the council approved the extension of the employment contract of the Director General, Mayor Maria Totino used her right of veto on April 14th, 2020 at the meeting. Whereas the town clerk has received in writing a request from 4 councillors ordering a special council meeting to be called, the whole in accordance with Section 324 of the Cities and Towns Act, CQLR, see Chapter 19. Whereas following the right of veto exercised by the mayor, resolution number 2020-04-56 is submitted again to the council for approval. Considering that council wishes to extend the mandate of Mr. Nicolas Bouchard as the director of the town of Baie-D'Urfé, I move to approve the employment contract of Mr. Nicolas Bouchard as submitted and file hereto, and to, oh, sorry, I shouldn't be reading that.
No, so Chair Linda Phelps,
Yeah.
if you may request somebody else to move.
I request somebody else to move this item.
So you need somebody to move.
That's you.
Okay, great. I move to approve the employment contract of Monsieur Nicolas Bouchard as submitted and filed hereto, and to authorize Linda Phelps to sign the contract for and on behalf of the town to charge the salary expense in accordance with the certificate of availability of funds number 200412 issued by the treasurer.
Now, before we have a vote, I believe each councillor has a comment to read. I'll start with Councillor Kevin Doherty. Mayor Totino and Councillor Ryan have sent in a statement that they wish read by council. They did not want to participate at this particular meeting.
Excuse me. I have been elected to read this letter, that's apparently. Okay, here we go. Since being elected to the office of mayor of the town of Baie-D'Urfé some 15 years ago, I have never missed a council meeting, regular or special, with the exception of illness or being away on vacation. Regrettably, I must, for the first time, intentionally decline to attend a council meeting for the reason presented below. Councillor Janet Ryan has also decided to not attend the meeting. We will not be attending since the sole purpose of the special council meeting on Monday, April 20th is to deal with the approval of the Director General's contract. This item was voted on at the town first ever webcast meeting on April 14th, which attracted 141 viewers. The resultant vote at this meeting was 4 in favor and 2 against. Given the slim majority vote and the compelling counter arguments expressed by the 2 dissenting councillors, I exercised the mayor's right to veto the decision at the council meeting and indicated publicly, as witnessed by an audience of 141 registered viewers, that this item would be brought back to the next sitting of council, which was scheduled to be the next regular council meeting in May, which would also be webcast. Notwithstanding the decision rendered at the April 14th council meeting, the 4 councillors who voted for the adoption of the contract have decided to jump the gun and have requested that a special council meeting be convened on April 20th, less than a week after the regular council meeting. Our immediate reaction to this request was, what's the rush? Of even greater concern was the fact that holding a special council meeting on April 20th would make things very difficult to give ample notice of this meeting to our citizens. In our opinion, attendance at the special council meeting would suggest that we are complicit partners to a non-transparent process that we believe would be disrespectful to our citizenry. Convening a special council meeting will also be time-consuming. This will detract us from dealing with a host of current and important issues, the primary one being the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic crisis. It is also important to note that letters and questions are coming in from citizens to me, to Councillor Ryan, and to other councillors as to why this matter is being rushed without the process and what is being hidden. By not attending this meeting, we, the undersigned, must reiterate that we are not in support in dealing with this matter with a special council meeting, and that we expect to deal with this item at the next regular council meeting in May with full transparency and in full view of our electorate. Respectfully, Mayor Maria Tutino and Councillor Janice Ryan.
Thank you, Councillor Doherty. Would you at this time like to add your own comments?
My comments were pretty well expressed at the last meeting, whereby I still hold the opinion that a year's extension would have been adequate at this time, and that after that year, we could have certainly looked at the 3 or 4 year extension to make sure that things ran in a nice, smooth, even including after an election. And my position, unfortunately, is still the same. Thank you.
Is there any other councillor who would like to submit their comments?
Yes.
Council Eckford?
With all due respect to all council members, those who are present and not, it is my understanding that a special council meeting in the past and today are considered to be transparent. I'm comfortable that we were broadcasting this. However, ideally, if COVID-19 wasn't going on, we would be all together at Fritz Farm, open to the public. I have received phone calls and I have received emails, and I continue, once this meeting is over, if there are people who wish to reach out, I'm fully accessible. I do not take lightly these meetings, but I do think that this is the right thing to do. Given that there were 2 councillors opposing, and it was on the basis of the length of the contract, I believe that this is a minor issue. Given that the majority of council is in favor of this contract, I believe it is in the best interest of the town, our residents and employees, to continue normal processes of employment contracts. We are all navigating COVID-19 on many levels, and it is my belief that it's with stability that we move forward. Yes, we must pause and reflect our project, and this requires an administration in place to do this. Again, I welcome any emails or any comments. I feel I have addressed them already, and I am completely committed to transparency. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Eckvik. Councillor Lowenstein, are you prepared to give your...
I had originally prepared something for this special council meeting. And in the meantime, we received the statement only 2 hours before our meeting. And I feel personally that I was not prepared. However, I will read what I had originally commented on, and it was more about the veto, and that it actually offered us an opportunity to further reflect and in trying to come closer together in an agreement regarding the length of the proposed DG contract. There were in fact some employee comments regarding stability and morale to be taken into consideration also. After the discussion that councillors had, it appeared that we had come somewhat closer together in the view of the 2-year contract, and it was agreed not to prolong the adopting of the contract until the next regular council meeting. It is my opinion that the stability and continuity is of in a time of great uncertainty is very vital. Continuity not just for council and administration, but ultimately for the citizens who are expecting services and projects to be fulfilled. And this is why we call the special council meeting to move forward. We're in crisis, both in health and economy, and that will not be over soon. So we wanted to address a 2-year contract so that we could continue over a stable period and not have to renew and revisit contract negotiations in just a few months' time or half a year's time. In response to the statement from Mayor Totino and Councillor Ryan, I have concerns regarding the following. Councillor Ryan was present at the meeting in which the decision for a special council meeting was made, and I don't recall any advocating against holding a special meeting at that time. The timing of the special meeting was not meant to be rushing anything, but rather to be decisive in order to provide security and stability to continue dealing with our current COVID-19 crisis. Regarding letters and questions from citizens, I personally only received one email, which I responded to with a phone conversation. I am open to any emails, any questions that citizens have. But I was not made aware of any other emails and questions until I received the statement from Mayor Totino and Councillor Ryan. Regarding transparency, this is a special council meeting that is being recorded, and I feel that we are providing full transparency in this case, and I'm very comfortable with having this special council meeting. That's all.
Thank you, Councillor Lowenstein. Councillor Gilpin, please.
Thank you. Supporting much of what has been said, I'm going to try not to repeat. The DG contract is largely unchanged from the one we signed 2 years ago. And it's the same one that we presented last week. The 2018 contract was negotiated by the mayor and DG as its usual process and was presented to council for approval back then in 2018. All councillors for this particular contract since 2020 have been discussing this since early January. So we have been discussing it, and we have been very transparent to talk about what issues that arose. And I feel the process was very open and transparent, and with the length of the contract being an area for discussion. And given that time, I mean, we're almost at the end of mid-April, it's really time to move forward. And we have employees at heart who have, expressed that this is a very unstabilizing situation. So as I mentioned last week at the regular meeting, the town needs a Director General to provide business continuity, security, stability for the administration and citizens at this time of crisis. The vote last week was very unsettling for us all and has shaken some citizens and employees, and we need to settle this quickly so that we can move to other important strategic matters. For example, we know that the government is going to open up our economy soon. And are we ready? Do we know the impact of the crisis on our finances? Do we need to revisit our major projects? All of this should be top of mind, and this routine matter, as Councillor Ekvet said, should be settled so that we can move on. In closing, these are some of the matters that I believe we should be focusing on in the very near future, and to do this, we need a DG who is engaged and we need employees who are motivated and not worried about the stability of the organization. And hopefully this meeting, which I fully support, will also stabilize citizens to know that we're moving in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Gilpin. I will give my statement at this time. In 15 years, there have been many votes in which 4 was considered a majority. So it was very surprising to us that it was considered a slim majority. The vote was held in view of 141 people. The council was not advised by the mayor of her intent to veto. But it must take place, and according to the bylaw, it says it must take place at the next sitting as a matter of urgency and priority. And we are following that particular situation now. We took this as a matter of urgency, priority very seriously. This decision involved people, especially staff who have witnessed 6 different DGs and a high turnover of staff. Each DG brings his or her views. There may be reorganizations and possible layoffs. Employees took the time to write their concerns, and the one word that stuck out in everything that they wrote to us was stability. In 1 year, we will still have a problem with COVID-19. It is not the time for renegotiating or a commitment with a contract. I was surprised to hear that the mayor does not consider a special public meeting transparent. As a fact, we have used them on occasion. One was held at 9:00 a.m. regarding the purchase of a piece of land bordering on the lake. We scheduled this particular meeting at a time that we felt that that would work the best for most people to watch it. So I will be voting in favor of the contract, of a 2-year contract, the same reasons as I did previously, or if I had to do it again in the future. Thank you. Now.
I just add one more thing, please?
Yep. Yes. Okay.
I just wanted to add that council may have differing points of view and have had in the past as well, but it is our aim to continue working together, and I believe that we have done so on various other issues where we have not agreed, and it is always for the good of our town and our citizens that we have in mind.
Thank you. I'll go to the next item on the agenda.
Hold on.
Terry, if you may call the vote, I need a seconder before.
Oh, yeah, of course you need a vote.
Yes, the seconder and the vote.
I'll second.
Did we get the?
No,
move.
I need the vote.
You need the vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Against?
No.
Okay. That was an important one, eh? Okay. Considering that at the council meeting, we have a public question period, which should be now, and I believe there is a question that came in.
Yes.
At this council meeting, the question period must deal exclusively on the item of this agenda. This meeting being exceptionally broadcast by webcasting due to the current situation, the questions addressed by email to the town clerk after the meeting will be tabled for discussion at the regular council meeting that will be held on May 10th, 2020.
Yes, so I received only one email with one question that I think it's pertinent to have it brought forward during this meeting. The question is from Mr. Eric Lilly, and the question reads as follows. By what majority is it required for council to approve the DG's contract? Simple or some other special variant? So that's the only question that the clerk's office received, and Chair Phelps, I don't know if you'd like me to.
Yes, I would, please.
So there's no particular majority per se for a contract of an employee. The only thing that changes is since the mayor used her veto, you need absolute majority. So what we call in French, la majorité absolue. How it works is that any decision where the mayor chooses to exercise the veto, at the following council meeting, you need to have absolute majority to have the resolution adopted. So in this case, absolute majority means 4 votes in favor. So we had absolute majority and the resolution was carried.
Thank you. And again, I'll reread a part here is that any questions addressed by email to the town clerk after this meeting will be tabled for discussion at the regular council meeting that will be held on May 10th, 2020. So we're trying to be, again, as transparent as we can in this situation. So you will be heard if you want to be. It's time for the closing of the meeting. Would anybody move?
I move to close the meeting at
1:22. Second? All in
I'll second
favor? Thank you.
yes.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, and have a good afternoon.
Yep. Thank you.